So if you have ever felt like it's difficult to stay consistent with your brand and create content, then this is the video for you. We're gonna go through a really quick and dirty version of how to plan out your Instagram feed and make sure it's consistent with your brand. So the first thing is, when you are planning your content, you want to plan it in chunks of time, not a little bit every single day. So for me personally, I started doing this by blocking off Wednesdays. Wednesdays are my days to create content. Now, that doesn't mean I don't create content other days, because there are times when I'm like going out walking Zeus, or just like out and about or something like that. Usually, or even when I'm working out, I swear, side note, whenever you're doing any type of like physical activity, that's when stuff like really just gets flowing and comes to me. So I do have a notes section on my phone where I will quick even just go in there, or I'll do a voice record or something, just like to get the thought onto paper and out of my head, so I can go back and revisit it later when I'm actually going through and creating content. So for instance, I have right in front of me, I have my notes, just so I make sure I am going point by point. Sorry, I just got like distracted. But I have a Google sheet. So because I have Google Docs on my phone, I'll just go back and forth. And for this one, it's saying how to plan Instagram feed. I have that on there because I listened to you and I heard that that was a problem that a lot of you are having, is how to be consistent with your Instagram feed and how to plan it. So here I am. But that just gives you an example of, putting it on paper, getting it out. I have, bullet points down of what I want to talk about, but I didn't write out or film out the entire thing until now. So I'm batching a lot of my content at the same time. So that's the other thing too. It's like, it's okay if you're wearing the same thing in multiple different videos. That's fine. And if it really bothers you, then go change. But the biggest thing is, you want to stay in this flow state and just like knock a lot out, because you can get so much done when you are really focused than if you're doing a little bit each day. So anyways, that's the first tip, is block out your time to work on content. The other thing is, you want to gather up the photos that you want to post. So let's say you're not filming just yet and you're writing out different posts. So you want to go through any of the photos that you have and put them in, you want to edit them all at the same time. Again, it's the same thing of batching. Not only that you're going to be doing content one day, but you're also going to be batching at the same time. So for instance, when I'm doing a bunch of back-to-back IGTV videos, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going from IGTV to writing a caption to editing photos. I'm literally going to do a bunch of IGTV videos, and then I'm going to do a bunch of captions, and then I'm going to find a lot of photos and then edit them all. So gather up the photos that you want to post and then edit them all to your aesthetic. If that is something that you have no idea how to edit photos to your aesthetic, to your tone of voice, to the emotions that you want people to feel when they land on your page, there's a lot that goes into editing a photo and doing it strategically than just throwing on a filter. So if that's something that you need help with, send me a DM and let's talk about that, because you really do need to make sure that your aesthetic is accurately portraying like what you want your brand to say. So anyways, that is a different video. And then, so if you're taking your own photos, have shoot days to batch create content. So that's another thing that you could do on the same content day, or you could have it a separate day. So a lot of times, like, if you're on a brand shoot or something like that, like, get a ton of photos one day. Another thing is, like, if you've done your makeup one day, take photos, take a couple different ones, change your outfits, like batch your content. Whenever you're out doing something with people, just ask someone to take a quick photo of you or something like that. And like, it's fine. So that's something too, where always have in your mind of how you can be stocking up some content, right? So for me, I'll have Jake take photos like of me if, maybe one day maybe on my content creation days, I have makeup on like today and I'm doing whatever. Well, maybe tonight when we're out, I'll just say, hey, can you take a couple photos of me? And then I'll save that for later. Or if we go out to dinner, I'll say, hey, can you take a photo of me for this? And now it's just second nature. He's amazing and he just does it for me. So like, that's something where, you know, you utilize that time. You're being efficient with having your makeup done, being dressed really, and capitalizing on those days. So yeah, taking your own photos. If you need help with that, I do have an IGTV video on how to take better iPhone photos. But again, it's something that I go through with my one-on-one clients if you are interested in that. Basically how to take better photos and how to take the photos that are supposed to be taken for your brand. You know, not everyone needs, you know, coffee shop photo. You need more than just a coffee shop photo. So what type of photos are best for your brand, what you need to be wearing, all of that type of stuff. We go through that in coaching. So if you're interested, let me know. The other thing, each photo should remain unique but consistent with lighting and editing. So kind of touches on what I just did. Make sure that you're taking your photos generally the same way each time. Natural light is your best friend. It doesn't matter whether you're indoors, which I am now, and I have natural light like on my face. You don't want it behind you. It creates a shadow. So same deal when you're outside. Make sure it's on your face. And if it's in, you know, the afternoon, which is generally speaking not the best time to take content photos, just make sure you're in the shade so you get that natural light, but not shadowing. And then once you have those, so now you have your content photos that are edited and you maybe even have your captions written in like a Google Doc or something, upload your photos into a planning app. So I like to use Planly. So sorry if that messed up my video. It just said low battery. So FYI if it goes blank for a second. I use Planly. So I love Planly because I can use it on my desktop and I can use it on my phone in the app. So it's very, very consistent. And so I'll upload all of the edited photos into Planly, and then I will put the captions into that, and then I will schedule it out. So there's a calendar on there and you can drag the photo over and schedule exactly the time that you want it to be done. So for me, I generally am posting about like noon, Monday through Friday. And then if I post on the weekends, then it's just like a lifestyle photo or something random. It's whatever. And so again, like I'm not super rigid about it. So it's better, like the consistency is better than the frequency. So figure out like how much you can be consistent with creating content. Maybe just start with 2 to 3 times a week and be really consistent with it and do maybe like an IGTV on Monday and then another photo on Thursday and then that's it. And then bump it up week by week if you want, or just when you feel comfortable. But essentially you want to make sure that you are being just consistent with it. And then, yeah, the next thing is figure out how to make the photos look good next to each other. So the planning app is amazing because it loads in, you put your Instagram in, so it loads in your previous posted pictures, and then you have all of the other photos, like the edited photos that you're going to be posting in the future, and you can drag them around and figure out what looks best next to each other based off of what's in the image. So, you know, the biggest thing is like taking a step back and looking at one photo and how do they look together as a whole? How do they fit together? Because great feeds have a variety of subjects spaced out. So, you know, utilizing textures and different backgrounds and things, and like how you are situated in photos when you have multiple people in photos, and, you know, and if you have quotes, all sorts of things, just like dragging them around and dropping them to make sure the aesthetic is really pleasing. That's something that I also help people with if you need help with. And then, you know, the goal is to create balance and depth with your Instagram feed. So if you post a busy photo, balance it next to with like a lighter photo or with one with a lot of white space. It's easier on the eye. And then again, like switch up the top down flat lay pictures. So the ones where you're taking it like this, with other content from a different angle. And then a last pro tip I have is space out the subjects by either 1 or 3 photos, not 2. Avoid having 2 selfies next to each other unless they're somewhat different, or 2 food shots next or like on top of each other in a column. and all that. So that is the quick and dirty version. While I'm running out of time because I have 10 minutes only, if you have questions on how to better form your Instagram aesthetic, then send me a DM and let's talk.